Well, India and Afghanistan share close ties. We know that India is helping when it comes to capacity building, infrastructure development in Afghanistan. With me is the spokesperson of the President of Afghanistan. So, welcome to Wion. My first question to you is an obvious one. How do you characterize the relationship between New Delhi and Kabul at a time when the world is going through this complex geopolitical changes?
A very good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for reaching out. And it's such a pleasure to be connected with you. Well, there's no doubt that the relationship between India and Afghanistan is a very historic relationship. It is between the people of both countries. It is between the governments of both countries, and I can claim that it is all weather friendship that we've enjoyed, especially in the past 20 years, where Afghanistan needed a true friend when we started the path for reconstruction and building our democracy. So India was a very strong and proper model in terms of working with us and support us, along with the international community in Afghanistan, so that we have a different system, and of course we have a democratic country. So I will again claim that we have a very strong relationship. We are happy to build on that, and we are grateful to the great nation of India for so many years.
So we know that the current pandemic is something that is a cause of worry for everyone across the globe, and especially here in South Asia. So when it comes to COVID pandemic, how both countries are dealing, and of course also how New Delhi is helping Kabul to deal with this pandemic.
From the start of the pandemic, both countries and the leaders of both countries, they engaged meaningfully. They talked to each other. There was a summit organized by the Prime Minister of India, in which our president presented the strategy of Afghanistan on how to address the pandemic in Afghanistan. So there's a quite exchange of experience between the two countries, exchange of expertise, and of course we are grateful with the support that we have been receiving so far in that area, especially the 75,000 tons of wheat that India promised to Afghanistan, of which a large number has arrived in Afghanistan. So beside that, there was medical support, medical assistance to Afghanistan, so that we can fight together this pandemic.
So India is also helping Afghanistan connect with the world. One of the project, a major one, is the Chabar project, also a railway line connecting Chabar and of course the Zahedan railway line. What do you think about the entire railway line project? Because we saw the reports coming from Iran, of course, clarifications also coming. Do you think this railway project is going to take time, or how three countries are going to come together to make sure that this railway project moves forward?
So Afghanistan is pursuing that goal, which is regional connectivity, which is the expansion of trade and transit between the regional countries, and that has been our quest for the regional countries. Chabahar is playing a crucial role in terms of the export of Afghan products to India. Reaching out to India through Chabahar is a game changer, and we, in the past 6 months, the Afghans were able to export 6,000 metric ton of the Afghani products to India. So that plays a very important role. Afghanistan has opened up its proposal for furthering and strengthening regional cooperation. We are now connected with the Central Asian countries. Afghanistan just signed a 10-year contract with Uzbekistan the other day to export electricity and energy. So that kind of agenda that we are pursuing, we would really rely on the support and political support of countries like India and the Central Asia. So we have to connect all these countries together. Growth and trade can replace and the unfortunate agenda that could exist in the region. So we are trying to introduce the new Afghanistan with a new agenda, which is basically the expansion of trade, transit, and mutual cooperation.
Mhm. So how is the peace process going? We saw the Jirga meeting for 3 days, and of course the Taliban also saying that conversations can start within a week. So if you can update us to the audience here in India about the Afghan peace process, the outcome of the Jirga meeting, and will the talk start on 16th of August as it has been reported?
So we all know that Jirga played an important role in terms of naming it a new milestone for the peace process. Some 3,400 people's representative came to Kabul in a great assembly, we call it Jirga, to actually to give the government a clear instruction on taking a path in the peace process. So the first recommendation that they asked the government was to release the remaining 400 Taliban members and the prisoners who were with the Afghan government. So today, just a few minutes ago, the Afghan president signed a decree so that they are released according to the recommendations or the decision of the Loya Jirga. So we think that now we will have to move forward. We will have to see what will be the Taliban reaction to this. The Taliban has to reciprocate, the decision that the Afghan people took in Jirga. It is now up to the Taliban. The ball is in their court. So at this side, people are ready. The Afghan government is ready. We have the negotiation team ready. So we hope very much that we see practical commitments, clear commitments from the Taliban side to enter the negotiation. So there are some rumors, there are some dates moving around, but I will not be able to tell you what exactly date the talks will begin. But we are hopeful, as the Taliban had said, and our allies had said to us, within 3 days after the prisoner exchange, the peace talk will begin. So we are all waiting, and the Afghan people are waiting to see what will be the next move by the Taliban, because the Afghan government has taken all those steps so that the peace talk can start.
So peace talks can start perhaps within a fortnight, 15 days perhaps? You hopeful, sir?
We hope that before that, the talks will begin. So as the president stated in the Jirga, after the release of the Taliban, the remaining prisoners, there will be a date, which could be very soon, could be this week, could be next week, but we hope it doesn't take any longer. So because the people are waiting, and there was a huge national consensus and demand by the Afghan people from the Taliban to start the talks.
Mhm. So how or perhaps where do you see India's role when it comes to the Afghan peace process? India has been backing the Afghan government, perhaps sometimes even the only country backing the Afghan government. So India's position vis-a-vis the Afghan peace process.
So I will not say that this is the only country that is supporting the Afghan government, but there's a major global consensus that they are supporting the Afghan government, a democratic, unified, and independent Afghanistan, which is the end state of not only the Afghan people, but the global community. So we want a sovereign, everybody wants a sovereign Afghanistan, peace within itself, and of course, in peace with the region and with the global community. I think that India has a very principled policy towards Afghanistan, and that's what we expect from India as a friend, to stand with the legitimate government of the people. And of course, many other countries have expressed their support to a unified and democratic Afghanistan. So that's what we demand from our friends, because in the past 20 years, we have paid an enormous price to have a democratic and independent country. So our gains will not be reversible. So these are irreversible gains that we have made. And it's not only the Afghan government who are the people that have made these gains. We have done it with our partners, global partners, regional partners, and India has played an important role in our democracy, in our development.
Mhm. And so, what's your view about Islamabad's role? Because Pakistan's role, we know in the region, something New Delhi has been talking about this, the cross-border terrorism issue. This is something impacting Afghanistan as well. We saw what happened at the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. So, where do you see Pakistan's role? Do you see its role in a negative way?
Pakistan has to support a democratic, a unified, and a sovereign Afghanistan. So we really expect from the Pakistani government to stand with the Afghan government and Afghan people, and in true sense, support the peace process in Afghanistan, which is in the good of the Pakistanis. And also, as I said earlier, our agenda is to improve and strengthen regional cooperation, trade, and transit. So we will have to see that role that's expected from Pakistan. Not only Afghanistan, but the global community today is asking Pakistan to play an important and positive role for our peace, for the peace of the region, and of course for the peace of the globe. So in the past few months, there were some visits from officials, Pakistani officials to Afghanistan. They have expressed their willingness, they have expressed their support to the Afghan peace process. We will have to see that materialized, and we hope very much that there will be a strong, positive role by Pakistan as a neighbor to Afghanistan in our peace process.
So, final question to you. We know that the minorities in Afghanistan, the Sikhs, the Hindus, they are coming to India. We saw the first batch coming to India, including Nidan Singh, who was kidnapped in Afghanistan. How do you see this development? Because I've heard the speeches of your leadership, including President Ghani, who has been talking about how minorities have been the flowers in the garden of Afghanistan. So, how do you see this
True.
development?
So first of all, they are not our minority. We will not call them the minorities. They are our soulmates. They are our Afghan brother and sisters, and we feel so sad because they are leaving. We hope very much that they don't leave. They stay in their country, and we should work very hard to provide them with the security, and that's the responsibility of a government. But seeing them to leave the country, it is sad, and we are all sad. We never hope to see our brothers and sisters from Sikh and Hindu community to leave us. They are our soulmates. They are the flowers of our garden, and we will never call them minorities. They are Afghans. It is sad that Afghans are being targeted by these terrorist groups, and they are also targeted. So it's not, the threat is not only to them, but the threat is to all of us. We hope very much that one day they will come back, they will live in their own country, and we will not see any day in which our citizens, our countrymen and women, they are forced to leave. That's a pain in our heart, and we carry that.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to Wion, talking about so many things, whether it's India-Afghanistan ties or whether it's the Afghan peace process, which is something that a lot of people here in India are also keenly watching. Thank you so much, sir.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much.